Yes, I know this place is a disaster. Welcome. I'm down here in my wormery, and you can see over there in the window it's dark outside. Usually down here in the morning, late morning, early afternoon, but rarely in the evenings. But there was something about my African night crawlers, the African night crawlers that I'd gotten from Northeast Worms. Everything was great up until just recently when I was starting to observe how the material was getting awfully clumpy. Never wanted to crumble, never wanted to dry. And I don't know, some people might say that's a blessing in disguise. Well, to me it was just too reminiscent of material in which I had lost a whole bunch of worms last year. And I sort of panicked, so, even after we had started a migration of the worms out of their habitat into a horizontal migration feeding zone only 3 days ago, I guess I chickened out. So in the end, I guess I just used the bright overhead lights to my advantage to kind of drive the worms down into the mound, and I kept skimming material off the top as I picked through it by hand, make sure there were no worms left behind. I kept adding to the collection, and boy oh boy did I run into tons and tons of cocoons. So ultimately I brought this system to an end today via a little bit of horizontal migration, 3 days worth, plus a final wrap up with light harvesting, which is not easy, by the way, with material that's all clumpy like this. But what I'm glad to say about this material, now that I've had a good chance to get really up close and personal with it and spend a lot of time with it, I don't think there's a problem with it. I think it does have a lot of blended in old food stuffs, and a lot of stuff that's on the way to getting broken down, but not quite there yet. So with all those cocoons in there, with all that moisture in there, with all that blended up bedding and food scraps and everything else like that, seems to me like we're all set to start into a cocoon nursery here. But since these little flying insects have been taking a shine to the, yummy odors coming off this thing with all the leftover scraps of food blended in, I'm going to be sticking this thing in the paper bag that you see over here, leaf bag, after I level it all off, and I will put out plastic on it, I think. Or should I leave it off? I don't know. I'm going to decide on that. Maybe I'll leave it off. The idea here is to let it dry a bit. But I guess the main reason I thought plastic covering was because cocoon nursery. So I gotta finish whipping up some bedding. I just ran a whole bunch of stuff through my shredder. I've got leaves from outside. I've got my spray bottle. And I've got a couple little holding trays over here into which I'm going to temporarily move the contents of this bin, and I'm just going to reset the thing. I'm going to throw fresh bedding in there, re-release them right into the box that they've been living in until now, and then maybe we'll just get a fresh sticker to show today's date. So I'm going to take care of the whole bedding setup and all that other fun stuff, and then we'll just get back to releasing the worms when we're ready. Okay, we're making progress. The bin has been emptied, and the contents have been put into two separate containers here. You can see the little round container is pretty full. Square container's where the worms are. So now I just got to replenish the bedding, rebuild their home, and I still got to put the castings away too. A couple more things to take care of here, but we'll be done soon. Alright, so the cocoon nursery's been leveled off. Got the recycled piece of paper I'm going to cover up with. I'm going to find a piece of plastic, then I can slip it into the bag. Hopefully prevent those silly little flying insects from continuing to hang out in that material. Prevent them from getting access. And you can already see I've already started building their bedding over here. It's a little bit of fresh stuff and then a bunch of recycled stuff. You can see I'm not even overflowing anymore on my little container here. All those really big pieces of paper bag, coffee filter, used napkin, used coffee filter, all kinds of large chunk pieces of bedding over here. And these were all the large chunk pieces of food that I was able to pull out of the bait station. I thought, even though at the end I'm going to use up what remains of my leaves and shredded paper to give this a fresh coating of material on the top, I thought it would be really nice for them to be able to just, go through a very thin layer of the top stuff and get right down into some nice familiar material right below where we're going to be placing them in. So this will be waiting for them right underneath. It's a combination of recycled bedding bits and food bits out of their horizontal migration feeding zone. There's mangoes, there's leftover food bits here. There was pieces of pumpkin you might have seen. A little bit of bedding. I didn't go too crazy trying to separate the worms. Here's another mango seed. So I just thought if they were to arrive in, I don't know, they're not arriving in a new home, they're just arriving back in their existing home after it was refurbished really quickly while they were taken out for a couple hours. So hopefully they appreciate the nice new space. So I'm going to get a couple more things done here, and then we'll be on to releasing these little guys. Alright, it's a few minutes later, and as you can see, the Cocoon nursery is covered, ready to go. And the new home, or the refurbished existing home for the worms, is ready to go. I've even got labels for both. So once that's done, I'll take care of getting these things properly labeled, but I believe the time has come to let these little guys out of their misery. They've been so patient, so I think it's time to release them into their new home. So let's get going. Here they are. I guess if we really wanted to, we could start picking away at the top here until we can get a good reveal on where they are. At this point, my guess is that they're all probably down at the bottom, so as soon as we flip them over, we'll get a good view of all of them. So I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on, what we're looking at here in terms of how many worms. For whatever reason, I believe that the estimate of the container that I took these out of is 1050, I believe. So, whatever. I think we've got more, to tell you the truth. Alright, everyone, here we go. Let's let these little guys loose, and then we'll be done. Alright. One or two got stuck behind, so I'll do my best to spread them out so they're not just sitting here in a mound for an hour. I always want to try to give them all easy, fair access to the surface below, and then that'll also give us a little chance to check out how many of them there are here. So I think there was a section, maybe this was the end, where it seemed like there was a lot of them. So alright, I guess I got a little time here. I'm going to put away the nursery and let these little guys get settled in. Alright, I think we've given these guys plenty of time to settle in, and I think I'm done for the day. I've spent a great deal of time tending to this, in large part because I was just, I don't know, maybe I just panicked. Maybe everything would have been just fine. When I was in there, picking through here, checking the material out, definitely seemed to me like the material was okay. Every worm seemed lively and healthy and comfortable. I don't know, maybe I overreacted, but that's fine. It was just a good way to get this to the finish line and get these little guys into their new home, and it'll be interesting to see what becomes of the Cocoon nursery. But there's not much left to do here. I got a few things to finish cleaning up and putting away, but I'm not going to waste your time with that. Before I go, let me just really quickly say thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to leave me a quick thumbs up before you go. If you haven't done so already, please also consider subscribing to the channel too. Alright everyone, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye now.